Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Hollywood After Dark. It is January 19th, 2023. Tonight we're going to be talking about Mr. Six-Shooter himself, Alec Baldwin, getting involuntarily manslaughter charged over a very tragic accident that happened on the set of Rust. Jason Momoa, is he teasing something new over there at DC? And of course, TRON 3 with Jared Leto. What is going on? All of that here tonight and more. Hollywood After Dark, folks. As always, let's fucking go! Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. It's been a day. There's been a lot going on. I was really shocked by the Alec Baldwin news, to be fair, which we'll get to as the show goes on. But my God, it's Thursday as always. Like it's still January. Sundance is getting ready to begin, and it just feels kind of wild. For those of you guys who are on Twitter and you follow me, which I would hope that you do, I do have the Podio Commentary Twitter account that I'm working on. Posted something interesting today. Thought was kind of wanting to try something a little bit different. I'll tell you guys a story. Did you guys know, and this is kind of funny, did you guys know that Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone had a massive rivalry back in the day, right? They had a huge rivalry back in the late 90s or back in the late 80s, early 90s. And there was a prank, actually, that Arnold Schwarzenegger ended up pulling over there on Stallone. And it was funny. It was about a movie called Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, right? And Schwarzenegger got the script, and he hated the script. He thought it was terrible. He thought it was bad. But he wanted to get a one-up over there on Stallone. So he put out in the trades that he was interested in the movie, but he wanted a lot of cash. And as a result of that, the producers are like, well, Schwarzenegger's interested, but we don't want to pay him that kind of money. Maybe we can get Stallone for cheaper. Stallone took the bait and went on to go star in the 1992 movie Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, which did $70 million worldwide, but completely destroyed by critics. If you've ever seen the movie, you know how bad it is. But the guy who wrote that movie was a guy named Blake Snyder. Blake Snyder also wrote Disney's 1993 film Blank Check. And those were his two major contributions to Hollywood movies on a public-facing level. From there, he decided to go on to become a Hollywood scriptwriter teacher. He wanted to teach the art of scriptwriting, so he created something called the Beat Sheet, the Blake Snyder Beat Sheet. And the Blake Snyder Beat Sheet it breaks scriptwriting down, literally breaks it down to a per page like breakdown, right? Like page 1, this happens. Page 10 is the inciting incident. Page 30 is the end of Act 1, so on and so forth. And I've read this book, and it's actually like a really good book. I actually really, really, really like it. But there is so much damage that's been done to storytelling as a result of this specific book. So many up-and-coming screenwriters are recommended Save the Cat as a template. Right here, follow the beat sheet. Follow what Blake Snyder has done. Follow it to its letter. And this is how scripts are formatted. And as a result, and I've met producers who absolutely loathe, who 100% hate, who despise the beat sheet because so many writers focus on it. The book is called Save the Cat. It is a good book. I do like Blake Snyder unfortunately passed away a couple years ago, but the guy fundamentally changed Hollywood with this particular book, this particular format. And if you actually go and look at it, let me see here if I've got I'm trying to get the thread up, but unfortunately, for some reason, my Twitter is being very odd and it's showing DMs and I don't want to have those on screen. So this is the Blake Snyder beat sheet. right? You got the setup, the debate, I mean, the story, the funny games, bad guys close in, all of this stuff. And this is just a very kind of like surface level look at it. It goes far further into detail in the story or in the book. But so many people use this. And if you start realizing, once you actually understand this beat sheet, once you actually understand what it is that is being put in front of you, and you can start to look at like the pages, or when you're watching a movie, if you have this in mind, you can literally start to see exactly where the story is going to go, because it's all format. It's all formulaic. It's all part of a cheat sheet, if you will, for how to tell a movie. And I always find it to be really funny. Again, the book is good. I recommend it if you are trying to be an up-and-coming screenwriter. It does give you the fundamentals that you need. But Ryan Hartwell here makes a great point, that he'd rather follow Trey Parker and Matt Stone's method. This happens, therefore this happens, but this happens, therefore this happens. Exactly. It's a good way of formulating the story and putting it through. I just think it's really funny that a rivalry, literally a rivalry, is what prompted Blake Snyder to get 2 movies made, and that got him to write a book that might have fundamentally, I don't want to say destroyed Hollywood, but it definitely hurt Hollywood to an extent. I think it hurt script writers, because it's not to say that script writers are lazy. All right. I don't want to say screenwriters are lazy, because I'm a screenwriter. I've written a bunch of scripts. I haven't done any in a long time. I need to write another one. I have a bunch of ideas. But it's like, it's not that we're lazy. We're actually very dedicated to the craft. It's that Hollywood is extremely risk averse. And because of the risk averse aspect of it, it ends up being a big problem. HWAD here says, I think Chat GTP is the best way to write a script. All right. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? Okay. You know what I'm going to do? HBarts. All right. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up here. I have Chat GTP up, because I think I can't go a day without being on this thing. Right. I just can't go a day. So I'm going to say, okay, pretend you're Blake Snyder and you need to write an award-winning Hollywood screenplay based off of your beat sheet formula. What is the best? Write me a script about a what's an award-winning story? Okay, about a woman. All right. Stuck on a spaceship, all right, with Mormons who believe the end of the world, the universe, is going to happen. All right, let's try that. Let's see what it says. Let's see what it says here. It might actually not do it because of the Mormons. Oh my God, it's writing the script. Oh my God, it's writing the script. Let's see here. All right. Act 1. There we go. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I love ChatGTP. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's like, it's really useful. I've written like, if you even look at the sidebar there, you see Prisoners movie PowerPoint. I was going to do a PowerPoint for it, but it didn't work out very well. All right. So we've got like the different acts and stuff. Motherfucker, it's writing me a script. All right. It's writing me a script. Just the outline, right? Just the outline. But it is using the beat sheet. It is. We're going to go through this here. We're going to start reading it as it's figuring it out. I just want to make sure that it's doing Act 3. Okay. All right. Closing image. There we go. Bam, bam. Full outline. All right. It's called Last Chance. Okay. Opening image. Shot of a dilapidated spaceship floating in the vast emptiness of space. Act 1. Meet our hero. We meet our protagonist, Jenna, a brilliant but stubborn astronaut who's in the middle of a solo mission on a malfunctioning spaceship. Jenna's ship is stranded in the middle of nowhere with no way to call for help. As she struggles to survive, she discovers that she's not alone on the ship. A group of Mormons, led by their charismatic leader Jason, believes that the end of the universe is imminent and they have been sent on a mission to save as many souls as possible before the end comes. The theme is stated here. Jenna is initially skeptical of their belief in the end of the world, but as she gets to know the group, she begins to question her own beliefs and starts to see the world in a different light. Act 2, for the fun and games section. That's generally the Act 2 overview. Jenna starts to work with the group to repair the ship and make contact with Earth. Along the way, she begins to develop a deep bond with Jason and his followers. Together, they discover that the end of the world might not be as far away as they thought. Jenna's past is revealed through flashbacks. We learn that she always has been a loner and that her work has always been her only mission. Through her interactions with the Mormons, she starts to realize that there's more to life than just work. Jenna and the group make contact with Earth, but instead of receiving help, they are told that the end of the universe is indeed coming and that there is no hope for survival. Jenna is forced to confront her fears and accept her new reality. Act 3. Bad guys close in. Jenna and the group must race against time to repair the ship and escape the doomed universe. They are also faced with the difficult task of convincing others to join them on their journey. All is lost. Jenna's ship is damaged beyond repair and they're forced to abandon it. Jenna must make the ultimate sacrifice and stay behind to ensure the survival of others. For the final image is a shot of the ship, but Jenna's sacrifice leaving the doomed universe and flying into the unknown. Closing image, a shot of Jenna's picture on the ship's dashboard as it flies off into the unknown. The themes are faith, sacrifice, and the power of community to bring people together in the face of adversity. It's not really like the best script out there, but it's just, I mean, like, again, I just said, write me this concept, you know, and we watched it happen in real time. That's the literal amazing thing about it. And that's why it's one of the reasons why I think it's so fun. I think it's really fun. But I could take that concept and I could refine it using different prompts and different things like that to really kind of figure it out. There was a guy, I showed this actually the other day to people in the HWAD Twitter DM group that we're in. Let me see if I can find it here. I got to find this one again. But it was a guy who decided to, like, he was fired. He was an editor, I think, and he was laid off. And so he decided to use ChatGTP and he decided to use Midjourney as a way to really try and create an anime, the concept of an anime. And he actually kind of pulled it off, and he did it in about 100 hours. I'm trying to find the video because I did link it to them. But here we go. So this guy, all right, bringing this up here. So I'll just show you guys like the opening of this, but this is where we're going in regards to like all of this stuff, right? And then I'll get to the super chats you guys have dropped, so thank you. This is called AI versus 625 Days, 100-hour anime franchise. All right. And it's crazy. So I'll play the first couple minutes of this. This will give you guys an idea of what this dude's up to. Let me actually increase the, let me get the resolution up there. All right, there we go.
Writers, gone. Conceptual artists, done. Animators, finished. At the start of the year, I had this crazy idea. Would it be possible to create 400 characters for an anime franchise in 1 week? And sadly, the answer was no. Turns out you need upwards of 625 days, or you'd need a budget north of $64,500 if you wanted to hire professionals to do it. Luckily for me, I was still mental enough to want to try and do it, and well, I couldn't get it done in 7 days, but I finished within 100 hours, and only for the cost of my prepaid Artlist Envato and Adobe subscriptions. If you wait to the end of the video, I'll talk a little bit about how I did it, but until then, I present to you my 100-hour anime franchise.
In the midst of the great void of the cosmos, there float two worlds. Osdior, a small but bountiful planet, and Armide, a vast and troubled realm. Both are bound by ancient magic and are home to many different civilizations. It is said that the people of Armide once turned their back on the rightful gods, and as punishment, the god of the celestial order cursed them with a great blight and scarcity of resources. All of the riches of Armide were siphoned off to Osdior, leaving the people of Armeed to struggle and fight for survival. In response to their dire plight, the people of Armeed formed factions, each seeking its own path to prosperity. The Celestial Order, who dwelled on Osdior, inspired such animosity. The others united in an attempt to destroy the planet Osdior entirely, using a combination of elements.
Okay, so I'm not gonna go through the whole thing of it because it literally goes on for like, I'm not even kidding you, like 20 fucking minutes, right? This guy went through, he had a bunch of images made, all doing all using like, yeah, I think it was I forget which AI program he used to work on this. He added prompts and stuff. But what I want to show you here, if you look at the right side of the screen where the little box is and you have the character image there holding the sword, watch that move, right? See how that moves? How he got that the animation right there to actually work? He did that by using the app CapCut on his phone. He brought those images into his phone and he did that literally with his phone to get the animation to work like that. You know, and so it's like, it's really fascinating how he did this with just like some light work, but it was really just like setting the tone and setting the stage. I'm not the biggest fan of like his narration. I watched this video all the way through. I found it to be a little bit hard to follow in regards to everything. I thought that it was like a little bit difficult to get what he had a lot going on here. But this is the idea, a concept for a full anime, right? This is the full concept for a massive anime that he wants to do. Now, Ryan here makes a great point and says only a matter of time before it goes from being a tool to being a crutch. See, I agree and I disagree, because a tool is only as good as a person wielding it. If you are able to take let's say, for example, like you're not an artist, but you have a concept idea in your mind and you need to find a way to do that, to put it together. You can use this kind of stuff to make yourself like a Bible and to make yourself, you know, like a presentation, a visual presentation. Or people who aren't able to hire writers or hire artists can sit there and find a way to make their own motion comic, again, to present it as a way that could be a proof of concept in order to get a job. And I think that's something that could potentially work out pretty well. But it's all about the implication of the person who, or I should say the intent of the person who's doing it. But I also agree with Blargan here, who says, makes me realize how much media is going to be shot out as fast as possible more than ever. The writing will be even more half-assed when assets are AI generated, reducing production times. I agree. And again, I disagree. I think it's like, look, what I showed you guys for that was a shit post. Literally came up with it. Like, would you watch that movie? I mean, if I gave it a better hook, if I gave it a better concept, if I gave it a better outline, if I prompted it a little bit better, it's the way that this guy actually discusses this specific format, what he did here, because he does work as an editor. He is a paid editor. This is what he does. He actually likened it to being like a creative director, where he is still overseeing the project, overseeing all of the nuts and the bolts of it, but he is working with other people and he is getting them to do the work, and then he is overseeing it and putting it together like a showrunner or a creative director or something along those lines. And I think that might be the best way to look at this specific type of content creation. It is very, very interesting because of that. But that being said, a lot of people out there are probably like going to look at it from the perspective of it not being great. Now, James here, by the way, hey, what's up, James? You have a link, by the way. Says, what about AI artists calling professional artists not real artists? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Like, look, I don't think you should sell this shit. I don't like the people that do AI art and then head over to Adobe Stock as a way to like sell it. I'm not a fan of that. You know, like I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube about how to like make hundreds of thousands of dollars selling the shit. I'm not a fan of any of that stuff because I feel like the artwork is there. It's so fascinating, but I don't like that people are trying to like take away from real artists. I feel eventually it's all going to kind of work together, but the technology is just emerging in the moment. James also says here, the problem is I've been following this artist on social media and I've enjoyed his evolution of an artist, but now he's using AI with his art and I can't tell where it starts or stops now. I mean, but isn't that always kind of the problem with technology? You know what I mean? Like, I understand your specific reservation with it because you're an artist, and I get that, and I respect that about you. But I get where you're like, okay, where these lines are blurred, where does it start, where does it stop, beginning, end, and I don't have an answer for that. But Reed here does make an interesting point. I guess survival of the fittest, which is kind of effectively accurate, you know. But then we get something like this, and I want to bring this up over here, you know. And this is a guy by the name of Keith Schofield, who is a director of music videos and commercials. And he decided to run this whole thing, Cronenberg, Galaxy of Flesh, create AI art based upon the idea of Cronenberg, and put this out there. And it's fucking wicked. Wicked. Look at this. I mean, this to me would not replace art, but this could be like concept art for, like, you know, putting together a movie or something, helping with that. But then that does maybe potentially put concept artists out of work, I guess. I don't quite know. Got some of these images here. I mean, like, look, this shit is wild. This is freaky. This to me is absolutely freaky. You know, you sent me an AI video. Okay. Oh yeah. I just saw a thing about this guy too. We'll check this out here in a second, man. Thank you, James. And then we're going to jump into the Jason Momoa stuff. And then after the Momoa stuff, you may want to come on, because I know you wanted to come on after a specific topic, because the Momoa stuff is going to tie into other stuff as well. So there we go on that. But thank you for that. But I'm just saying, like, this is some of the stuff here that this guy had made. I'm assuming through Midjourney. It looks like Midjourney. But just, I mean, like, wow. It just, the depth of field, the shots, it looks like something out of the 80s. You know, you could just think, like, you could just imagine like some dark synthwave music playing, right? You know, like Carpenter-esque type music playing, and just like get into the vibe of this. And it kind of feels also like Cronenberg's Existenz, which came out in the late 90s. And if you haven't seen Existenz, it came out around the same time as The Matrix. The Matrix got all the play about it being like the big go into, you know, an artificial world sort of thing. Existenz is actually about like Jennifer Jason Leigh and Jude Law end up going into the game that Jennifer Jason Leigh made, and going through there's a whole bunch of body horror in that. And it's a really good movie. So like, I'll have to do a audio commentary on that one. But like, I mean, like, holy crap, yo, that's the stuff of fucking nightmares, man. That's what I'm talking about here. This is the stuff of nightmares. So it's just, Daredevil's right. It's freaky and it's awesome. Rational here says AI art should be public domain. I don't think you can actually, like, public domain means you can sell it, you know, but I don't think you have the ability to do all that stuff. I'm just saying it's, I don't think you have the ability to, like, copyright it, maybe. Reed here saying, can I send you a link on Twitter? That's my drawing. Yeah. We'll take a look at that at the end, man. We'll take a look at it at the end. I just, like, that's just so fucking freaky. So wild. But okay, this is another thing that popped up today. Family Guy, as an 80s live action family sitcom, this is a video that was made with artificial intelligence and running in through. And it's like, again, this is just, I haven't seen this. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. It's probably horrifying, but let's take a look.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. Love and tradition of the grand design, some people say, is even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursts out every scene. We're gonna fill our house with happiness, but we'll smother the blues with tenderness. There's room for you, room for me, for gentle hearts and opportunity. It's the bigger love of the family.
All right. Look, here's the thing with that. That's actually like, it's fucking creepy, right? It's what the fuck did you just walk into? The future, executive judge. The fucking future is what you jumped into. Yeah, Ryan here, copyright strike incoming. I know, man. I know. I'll get it. It's fine. It's okay. For one, like the AI it looks like the guy who does real life Peter Griffin. Let's see. Hold on. Real life Peter Griffin. Let's find this dude. Images of this guy. So, you've got the real life Peter Griffin here. What's his name? Hold on, let me just bring this up. All right, so we got this. I mean, look, this guy right here. It looks like this. I think like this was more of the prompt, because when you do stuff like that within Midjourney, you can actually like upload images and like have that work as like basically like a base template and work with it from there. And I have a feeling it's this guy. But if you don't know who this guy is, listen to him.
Hey, Carrie, real life Peter Griffin here. I love what you're doing with the computers and stuff. But have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? Boom! Now I'm a tech too. Freaking sweet.
I mean, like, it ain't great. It ain't great, but but that guy, he sells it. He absolutely sells.
Thanks to
that. Okay. I don't need to autoplay into a Linus Tech Tips video. I don't even watch Linus Tech Tips. What the hell's going on? So, let's see. Zachary here says, I was expecting more of an 80s take on the actual Family Guy theme. Yeah, I know. Me too. I know. James here says, what a scary future. We are definitely in a simulation. We're into some shit. But it's going to take a lot of time, to get to that particular point. Okay, Reed, we'll get to that towards the end. Thank you, buddy. I'm just saying, it's so fascinating to me, but I understand like why people are afraid of it. So we're going to have to, but it's not going anywhere. Microsoft just dumped like 50 million into OpenAI for the sake of trying to, put probably Chat GPT and the GPT-3 language model into Bing. Obviously Google AI is going to find a way to try to implement that into Chrome. We're going to see so many other types of outlets talking about this. And it's like, I'm like, man, like, it's cool. I've been watching some of these videos that people have made of these stories coming out of this kind of stuff. And it's just interesting. As soon as there's like an AI created art film, which will definitely happen in the next couple of years, be crazy. Henry asking if I've talked about that 90s show. I haven't, because I haven't watched it yet, but I do want to watch it. We'll see what's going on with that one there. But all right, why don't we dive into the first topic of the night? Because I feel like a lot of people out there probably want to know about the first thing, because we got to get into some drama right off the bat. I guess that's how I like to roll. You guys know that. You guys know how I like to roll. So why don't we take a look here talking about our boy Jason Momoa? Who doesn't love Momoa? I love mimosas, but I also love Jason Momoa. So Jason Momoa today posted this on his Instagram. Something good happened. Something great happened for Jason. He's very excited. You will see that resonate and exude itself through this video. But I love this guy's energy. Let's take a look.
4 years ago, I had the Jeep out front. No, I don't want you. I left 4 years ago. I was screaming, wasn't I? Yeah. Screaming when I left Warner Brothers. Right? Everyone's in the meeting. 4 years again. It's a mystery, baby. We got, I got some really good news. Great news with Warner Brothers. Amazing. Wish I could tell you, but here it is. Peter, I love you. James, I love you. David. Okay. Mwah. To the future. Baby! Picture me rolling. 4 years ago, I had the Jeep out.
Now, we don't know what that means, to be fair, right? We don't know what that means, to be fair. But what we do know is that it clearly has to do with DC. It clearly has to do with whatever's going on with that. Now, Music Man here says it's Lobo. A lot of people think that it's going to be Lobo. Spherical Man here says Momoa is Superman. Could be. Maybe. Who knows? So Spherical Man says, I was about to make the mimosa joke. Well, there we go. We're on the same page. Ryan here says he's got more personality than The Rock. He does. But it clearly feels that things are changing and that things are moving towards a different direction. Now, what's interesting, though, is James Gunn himself has actually commented on this, albeit very, very briefly. So in a response to Comic Book Nostalgia, who I follow and we follow each other, he says, this has me as excited as anything James Gunn has let us know so far. The excitement levels from the performers always shines through, and Pride of Gypsies is overflowing. Is it Lobo or more Aquaman? Right. And then James just responds back with never a dull moment with Jason. So obviously not an answer, but not a decline. And so again, a lot of people, man, have been looking at this and they're like, okay, so like obviously Momoa is happy. Obviously he's been hyping some stuff up recently. 4 years ago would have been, when was that? 4 years ago would have been 2019. Right. So he's maybe 2018, 2019. Like, what happened? Was that when they greenlit Aquaman 2, or is that when he was there and Aquaman, they found out it was going to cross $1 billion or whatever? Like, I don't know. But 4 years ago was when Aquaman came out. So it has a feeling it has something to do with Aquaman, or at least working within that realm. This particular case, a lot of people are thinking that it's going to be Lobo. Now, Rational here says Momoa is staying for Aquaman 3. That might be a thing. They could keep it. I know. No, he didn't say David, fuck you. He didn't say David, fuck you. We'll go back and take a look at that too. I want to make sure he didn't say that. Let's see here.
Amazing. Wish I could tell you, but here it is. Peter, I love you. James, I love you. David. Okay. Mwah.
Yeah, that's not a fuck you. I'm sorry. I know it'd be funny if it was, but it's not. Okay, you're making a joke. You're making a joke there. Okay. So there's that. So, anyway, yeah. So, all right, there's that. But the other part of this I want to talk about to kind of keep it on track with everything has a lot to do with an article that popped up yesterday. Let me double check here. Right. Article that popped up early this morning. Got a lot of people talking about it. Now, I haven't talked much about this stuff in a while, but I've been getting asked to give my 2 cents on this. So let's take a look at this here. Over there on geekocitymag.com, a website that I feel I have to make the declaration. I have to be transparent. I do use ad block on because otherwise it's unfucking readable. That's just my complaint. So what we have here is an article written by Mikey, who is trying to say Zack Snyder is supportive of licensing Justice League 2 to Netflix. I love that where we are with the discourse right now, because remember, we've been making fun. We've been making fun of Cell Snyderverse to Netflix, right? We've been laughing at the fact that Syl is going to, that Skywalker is going to shoot himself in the foot over this one. But we know that this is what some people out there are really trying to push as a weird, positive thing. And what I find to be the most fascinating thing about the whole sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix is the fact that the people behind it are trying to push this toxic side of it, or this positive side. I don't want to call it toxic positivity. It almost is, but I'm not going to go that far yet. But they really want to push it like this. No, it's a positive thing, man. We're not about that negativity. And so anyone who criticizes them gets fucking hit with that whole thing about no, we're the positive ones. They're the haters. That's the whole thing. Never mind, it's absolutely still ridiculous. Now, look, this article, man, is fucking cope and a half, which is why it's really goddamn funny, in my opinion. Because I don't know what Mikey's up to. I don't know what Mikey's trying to accomplish with this one. I don't know, is it just has there been drops in the website? All things considered? Yeah, there has been. There has been drops in the website. I looked up some of the data. It's cut down by about half. Most recently. And, so that there's a big thing there. he needs to get the click. So let's find out what he says, because, we'll give him the attention he wants. All right. Zack Snyder clearly hasn't moved on from DC and Justice League, judging from his support for the Zack Snyder's Justice League Netflix campaign. He liked a fucking post, guys. I'm just going to spoil it for you. He liked 3 posts or whatever. Right. And so it's all like, he hasn't moved on because he liked some stuff on fucking, on Vero. But Mikey also underhands this opening statement down the road in the article where he talks about like the 100 articles he's written about the Snyderverse or whatever. And Zach liked a couple of them and then goes, well, I'm not like, he doesn't owe me his time, but yet he tries to make the argument in the opening statement that like, well, Zach clearly hasn't moved on. The problem is, unless I don't know if you're able to see the likes that come in from the Vero app. If you don't have the Vero app, you can't see all the comments and you definitely can't see all the likes. So you have no idea of knowing whether or not these images are actually true that are being circulated around. It's not hard to probably mimic and fake Vero posts. It's like, it's something that nobody would ever look into, but you could easily do that with like Photoshop. It's just, oh my God, it's like super easy. It's easy to fake a lot of shit if you know what you're doing. Yeah, I'll show you. All right. So it says here, like, in other words, he's left DC behind like a cheating ex-girlfriend. What kind of fucking dumbass comment is that? Like, they broke up years ago, then they got together for a fling, and then they broke up again. And he's moved on to greener pastures. And she went and got fucking reconstructive surgery. All right. Like, it's not a cheating ex-girlfriend. It's ridiculous. But then, of course, the analogy he uses here is he tries to bring back up Joss Whedon, turning it into a Frankenstein monster of superhero movies. Right. That was a studio thing. People like to put that on Joss Whedon. There's 2 different visions, Zach's and the studios, and they brought him in as a gun for hire, and everything else, and then it's like when the movie bombed, the fingers pointed at Zack Snyder. Again, it wasn't like his name was attached as a director. That was also a DGA thing that they had to do. Joss Whedon, I think, got a writing credit in the opening of that, but that was really like about it. It was a bad thing, right? Even Zachary Levy blamed Snyder. What is this one here for Zack Snyder's for DC failures, right? Mikey wrote this one a couple of weeks ago. And so, but again, the quote on that one, I'll read you the quote without going to the next page. So this is what Zachary Levy had said. He says, so I would say just be patient and give them some space and time to really make something special. And I think something that DC deserves to have, and something that Zack Snyder tried to do, and it just didn't ultimately materialize. So that's not attacking Zack. All right. It says here, he blamed Zack for DC Films fumbles. No, Zack tried to do it and it just didn't materialize. That's not an assault. That's not an attack. That's not, calling him out. They're saying like, look, they tried, it didn't work. But like, this is such a disingenuous statement. And that's the thing I really have begun to notice when it comes to Mikey Sutton, is the sheer fucking amount of disingenuous bullshit that is coming on, like, from this here. It's getting bad, guys. Like, it's getting really, really bad. But let's laugh. As Zack Snyder. Oh, okay. Sorry. Then he goes on to say here, of course, he did this while begging DC Studios to save his job. After all, reboots can turn into Order 66. I mean, yeah, way to cross the streams for your fucking metaphors. Well, whatever. Look, James knows Zachary. All right. Zachary's good friends of Peter Safran, who produced Shazam. And just even over the holiday break, the families were out snowboarding together. And so people are out there, again, trying to make it out there. Zachary Levy's trying to save his job. Well, the motherfucker's a working actor. You condescending, sniveling, cum-swallowing bitches. Like, he's a working yeah, of course. Fuck off with that shit. All right? Like, this is the thing. They're turning it into the whole us against them. All right? It's like, they should be us against them because they are a studio and they are therefore the powers that be, and there should always be a struggle against that. But what I mean is, like, They're just now manufacturing shit. All right. It's just propaganda for propaganda's sake. All because, click on my article, you guys. Anyway, going on here, as Zack Snyder continues to film Rebel Moon for Netflix, which, by the way, he's done filming that, his critics treat him like an infant. They apparently developed the ability to read his mind. They bash Snyderverse fans for attacking him on social media. They expect Snyder to reply with a cold shoulder. He's gotten over DC. The anti-Snyderverse mob repeatedly state, leave him alone, they order. But Snyder doesn't remain quiet. Yeah, clicking the like button. Oh my God, you used your fucking voice, sir. You magnificent, marvelous maven. You motherfucking vocalizing son of a bitch. You're standing up there in the hilltop of fucking Vero with a goddamn megaphone proclaiming, sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix. Oh, I'm sorry. None of those things are happening. But for some reason, in Mikey's mind, and it might just be the fact that he's got early onset dementia, folks. I don't know. He's getting up there in years. He's just making shit up now. He's just really trying. Like, look, Mikey's good at trying to he's good with his prose. I'll give him credit on that one. He's really trying to set a narrative. But the thing is, it doesn't pass the sniff test. It doesn't pass the sniff test. Like, not one goddamn bit. So no, I haven't gotten to super chats yet. Yes, guys, I haven't gotten to super chats yet. We've been on the move. I'm going to get to those here in a second. Trust me. It's not that I don't want to, but we've been on the move and I'm trying to keep things going. So hold on. I haven't forgot about you. They're definitely there. Anyway, so instead he likes their posts to sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix on Vero. Why would anyone expect anything different? YouTube personality Ski Walker the Jedi created a monster with the hashtag. No, he didn't. Some of the biggest sites covered it. In fact, Forbes even agreed it was a fine idea. Mark Hughes wrote, but the new sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix message is one of a rare few that seems crazy but could actually work. And just might have some unexpected, albeit unintentional, sides benefits to consider. That's why I think WBD selling the DCEU Snyderverse to Netflix could surprisingly be the best option. Mark Hughes is a hack, by the way. All right. It was a Forbes op-ed about the situation. Yeah, Forbes agreed. Forbes, one guy at Forbes agreed and he pitched an article here. All right. It's not really a monster of a fucking hashtag with it. It's just really not. No one's really talking about it outside of, maybe they're building up to the February 14th thing, but that's really about it. Now it says Ski Walker's brainchild delivers Justice League to Zack Snyder's current home, Netflix. If Netflix pulls this off, Snyder would finally complete his story. Moreover, he'd have more creative freedom with Netflix. He wouldn't have to fit in within DC Studios, co-CEO James Gunn's upcoming slate, or Cheese Plate. Remember, Mikey's been out there with Syl and those guys attacking even fucking, what do you want to call it? The Batman, saying that it would flop and all that kind of shit, that it wasn't going to perform well. And he's out here once again. This is just sour fucking grapes. This Cheese Plate comment. It's so stupid. In addition, Snyder wouldn't need to cut it for the PG-13 rating. After all, should this happen? Again, I love this. Should this happen? It would never happen. It won't be a theatrical release. More importantly, as a Netflix series, he'd have sufficient hours to end the saga properly. But who's to say he would do it as a series? Who is to say he wouldn't just do it as a 4-hour movie? It worked before. Why not try it again? If that was the case. Right? Or they'd break it into part 1, part 2, like Rebel Moon is being put together as a 4-hour movie cut into 2 parts. And if you followed the way that Netflix has handled any of their animation division, they've been ordering up massive episodes of these shows and then cutting them into season 1 and season 2 to avoid paying a relicensing agreement. It's part of their plan. It just doesn't, do they fucking know anything? Yeah, I know. Spherical Man here says, so when Snyder hits a like button, he's all on board, but when Gunn makes a tweet or two and suddenly he's on Twitter all day, nice double standards. Exactly. Doesn't Zack Snyder have a fucking movie to fucking finish over there at fucking Netflix? Jesus, guys. What's he got time to go on fucking Vero? Anyway. So, all right. So keep in mind, and then you got to love it here. He goes on to say, keep in mind that the sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix hashtag isn't accurate. It's about licensing, not selling, but a licensing hashtag wouldn't grab Twitter. This forces you to understand what Skywalker truly meant. Without a doubt, Hughes got it. It's not hard to figure it out. Jesus fucking Christ. This is not rocket science. This is not heart surgery. This is just understanding licensing agreements between mega corporations over very highly popular and very profitable intellectual properties. And if you follow anything to do with Hollywood, you understand the general gist of how licensing agreements work and what they are meant for and the parameters of which they are signed. It's just like this is the thing. He talks about Snyder's critics, handling him treating him like an infant. But here, Mikey is outright obfuscating from just like norms that his general audience should know, things he knows specifically. And he's just manufacturing shit for the sake of trying to sell a fucking narrative. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's dumb. Because Skywalker apparently says, what I do think is possible, however, and what I also think is actually a smart move for a number of reasons, is the idea that Warner Brothers Discovery could license a singular set of stories and plans for development in a specific way by a particular set of people at Netflix. Yeah, fine. Let's entertain this nonsense for a hot second, right? What would they do? They would approach Netflix with a package deal, right? With a package deal. They would have to go, okay, we want to finish up these stories. That would be Snyder Cut 2 and 3, maybe the Ben Affleck movie, maybe Man of Steel, whatever, right? Maybe another Man of Steel Elseworld shit. They would then, Netflix would put up the money. If they agree, well, they'd also have to go, we have Ben, we have Ezra, we have Gal, we have Jason, we have Henry, we have Ray. We have everybody on board with tacit agreements, at least through their agents or their manager, whatever, probably signed agreements as like at least a package deal or at least verbal to go there and go, they're on board to do this. So they have to get everybody on board first before anything else. They have to get everybody on board. And then Netflix, let's say, would go, okay, we can pick up the rights for X amount of money. And then, are they going to do co-financing with Warner Brothers? Is Warner's going to make it and then just license it through Netflix? Does it become a Netflix original? Do they seek an outside party, like let's say Legendary, to come on in with co-financing? Because Legendary's worked with them before. There's a lot of different elements that come into play here. Who's going to pony up the dough? Netflix oftentimes works with other production companies. So it's like, there's that as well. All right. Then they'd have to bring in Stone Quarry to develop something. It's just, again, you would have the licensing issues. There would definitely be merchandise issues. There's a lot of fucking shit here, guys. It's not something that just absolutely happens. It's not something that like they're going to do. Jess here saying Netflix has no money for Justice League. That's not actually, they probably do. But no, Zaslav would not allow this to happen. All right, Zaslav would not even remotely allow this to happen. Why would he sell away those IPs? Oh, but he said they could license stuff over to Amazon. They could license it to wherever. Your bigger IPs he wants to keep on the, like with The Last of Us doing as well as it's doing, with House of the Dragon that did as well as it did, with Euphoria that did as well as it did. They understand the importance of having strong IPs on their platforms, and they've also said that the whole burning down their shit, like the gutting of everything, has largely stopped, right? Gunnar Wiedenfels has basically said, we're done with all that, with the write-offs. Now, they did cancel Gossip Girl after 2 seasons today, yet they gave Velma apparently a 2nd season in production. I still need to watch the 2nd episode of Velma, right? I'm just saying, it's just ridiculous. This is what this article is right here. And what we need to acknowledge that this article is nothing more than Mikey Sutton just trying to play up to Sill's audience. Because if he plays up to Sill's audience, they can still find a way to do things. They can find a way to still get the super chats. They can find a way to still get the memberships. They can find a way to keep the fleece over the eyes of their audience, who at this point are I just think fundamentally too stupid to get that it's over. To get that it's over. That's just where we are. So, it's just right. So I want to also point this out. I want to bring up a clip here, by the way. So this is a clip that popped up yesterday. This is Sill and Mikey talking about Slate Watch, because there's been rumors that apparently James Gunn is going to drop the slate for tomorrow, like for the upcoming DCU tomorrow, right? The 20th. That's whatever. I'm not too sure. But this is what we're hearing, right? So now we've got the Slate Watch thing, DCEU Slate Real. This is what they're talking about. They're talking about James Gunn not being able to rival the popularity, the energy of the fucking stupid ass hashtag. Seriously, look at this.
So I don't know what he can do to, and I may sound biased saying this, but I don't know what he can do to match even the hype of the hashtag sell ZSJL to Netflix hype on Twitter. I don't think Gunn, whatever he does, I don't think he can match that.
No, I don't think he can. And
so I don't.
So you're telling me, hold on, you're telling me that the guy who just tweets out in the morning, having a coffee and doing some good reading, it's all of a sudden like All-Star Superman is trending, James Gunn is trending, all these things are trending, but that doesn't match. I think articles have been written about James Gunn tweets on Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, Collider, the big trades, but they have to sit there. It's a scope. My God, fucking Jesus Christ, guys. Like, this is ridiculous to sit there and say with any reasonable straight face. Now, Sil, to his credit, I guess, is sitting there and saying like, well, I might be biased. Yeah, you're biased, but you're also lying to your fucking audience on this one. I don't know how they can compete with that. Bitch, get the fuck off Twitter. Get the fuck off Twitter. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Just get off Twitter. It's so stupid. But I just thought that was really funny. I wanted to talk about that. Zachary here says, if you had to guess, Matt, when's the last time either of these idiots have gotten laid? I'm going to say the last time they were inside a woman is coming out of their mom's womb. I don't want to speak to that. I don't know when they had nuts and guts. When that happened, I have no idea. But what I can tell you is that it's gotten so ridiculous at this point that they have to just keep the perpetual shit show going. All right. They have to just keep it going for their audience of 400 people that are supremely dedicated to this, because they think because also here, you guys got to realize, go back to 2017 when the release the Snyder Cut hashtag started. Okay. It started because we knew that Zach had already filmed a lot more of the movie. We knew that he had already filmed stuff before the reshoots. We knew all of that. And we knew that the movie was a Frankensteinian mess. So obviously asking for, or in some cases demanding loudly, for the Snyder Cut to come out was a way for people to see what Zach had filmed, because he'd already filmed it. It was already in the can. But then what happens is we get to this situation where you've got a whole bunch of people now wanting something to materialize out of thin air. Something that doesn't exist, that doesn't have the reasonable capacity to exist, that there's not a lot of fucking money to make it exist. And there wasn't enough money that was brought in from the Snyder Cut in order to warrant its existence anyway. It's just, at this point, it's cope. At this point, it's just sad, right? That article from Mikey was sad. It was meant to literally get people's hopes up. And these are the people that sit there and say Mikey changed their life. Mikey is their messiah. They blow so much smoke up his ass that he is high on his own shit. He's drunk on his own ego, and he has to maintain it, because in this game, in this world of doing online content creation, when you start becoming a personality, you have to maintain that personality, you guys. You have to find a way to do it, because that fucking, oh my God, the dopamine that comes in from that shit is insane. There is no amount of pure cocaine that can give you the high that you get off of that kind of dopamine hit. We got 88 people watching right now. I'm thankful for that. I got a fucking dopamine hit off 88 people watching. It'd be even higher with 150. But I'm still going to put on the show, and I'm still going to do it. The show has been growing. Everything's been growing, and that's been fantastic. My whole point, since what's going on with it, is when you have to maintain that shit, and you bring nothing new to the table because you establish everything that you've done basically on House of Lies, or not a House of Lies, House of Cards. All right. House of Cards. And you got to keep it from falling. So what do? You keep building and building and building and building. But eventually you're going to get to that peak and you're going to have nowhere else to go. And that's when everything's going to come tumbling down. This isn't that peak. This is getting close to that peak. There's still another layer. Like I pointed out, when this fails, as it will fail, when Valentine's Day comes and goes, and all of those guys who are lonely and trying to tweet about this all day, thinking that they're going to make a difference, and they find out on the 15th that nothing has changed and nothing has happened and nothing will happen. Or hell, even once this fucking slate goes through, once we find out what James Gunn is actually all about, that's going to kill a lot of the momentum right now, because they don't know right now what James is planning. They don't know what James is up to. They don't know what he's thinking. They only have rumor and speculation and theory, and in that confusion comes a power vacuum. And that's what Mikey and Sil have been trying to do. They've been trying to keep their echo chamber contained, trying to keep them corralled around, ply them with cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias as a way to keep them going, yeah, guys, yeah, the Snyder Cut. Yeah, we're going to get more. That's what they said. They keep saying it. But then they also use the words to kind of allow themselves the ability to walk away. Well, it's speculative. It's in my opinion. I don't actually know what's happening. But hashtag Mikey was right. It doesn't matter. It's everything is could potentially be wrong until it's right. This boils down to, again, gambling. It's gambling addiction is what it is, right? It's gambling addiction. And the worst thing that can ever happen to a gambler is that they fucking win. And to be fair, when the Snyder Cut got announced now nearly 3 years ago, that was gamblers winning. Am I high? No, I'm not high. Wish I was, though, but I'm not. Zachary asking how long till everyone realizes Mikey's full of shit. So I will be generous and I'll be fair. I think that Mikey does have some people that he talks to. I don't think any of them are in DC. All right. Or if he had them, they're long gone. Okay. I think that's the whole thing. I think if he had them, they're long gone. But when they have, but on this specific subject, the people, like most everybody, I think would acknowledge that Mikey's been full of shit. Right. Or at least definitely like been shitty about it. But when you have people like Skywalker and Zod and Sil and Necron and Savage Bad, and all of those guys with like very few subscribers, but they keep very much to an insulated echo chamber. Their moderators block any dissidents in the chat. Everyone's a mod. Everyone's part of the cult. Everyone's involved in the fucking game. So basically when that happens, they keep it contained. They don't let anyone get through. Nothing damages the echo chamber because literally everyone is working to protect it. And it's a very close-knit hive mind that's very fascinating to watch work, because you can just sit there and listen to them and they literally get themselves worked up to the point where like they just start manufacturing things. And that is why it's so fucking funny. So the people in that community aren't going to realize Mikey is full of shit, because all Mikey has to do is just say, keep the faith, brothers. We were right once before. We'll be right again. Keep the faith, brothers. Brethren, don't lose hope. Don't lose fear. We're here to tell you. And then Sil will come out and he'll say something, right, that he heard something. Mikey will write an article like this that's based on bullshit. They'll come up with another fucking hashtag, sell ZSJL to Universal, right? As I said, as I predicted that they're going to do. So when that happens, you can go and laugh because you're like, oh shit, Matt was right. And that, by the way, is just like that's just like the process of fucking, it's Occam's razor. It's just the simplest explanation is the truth. Like that's just the pathway they're going. So it's crazy. Anyway, let's move on from that. HWAD for $5. Thank you, buddy. Says, ever since the day the Snyder Cut was announced, I've heard Zack Snyder's name every day. Listen, man, I apologize for that shit, man. That's also my bad. But yeah, you're right. I've heard it too. I've absolutely heard it too. It fucking sucks. But all right, there's a couple supers to get to here, guys. I'm sorry it's taking this long to get there. We just kind of kept moving, hit the ground running. I don't want you guys to think I forgot about you because I didn't. Ryan here for $2 saying, have you seen the trailer for Forest Hills? I haven't, but I'm assuming you've got that unlocked, so feel free to send that my way. HWAD for $2 also saying, I ask again, thoughts on the whole debt issue. We were talking about this on Max's stream. Ryan, I heard the beep from Discord. On the subject of the debt ceiling issue, as I was trying to point out on Max's stream, this is a Republican problem. They're going to try to hold the economy hostage. They've done it before. It failed miserably on their end. We'll ultimately be fine. It's just a lot of fear porn right now. But with the people that are in charge, they have absolutely no interest in trying to better society. They simply just want to hold on to what they got. So it's going to get messy. And I can't stress this enough. Like, do not vote fucking Republican, like, ever. They don't deserve it. Like, the party's gotta be burned down. I'm sorry. There's no policy there. There's no policy. It's all bullshit. Anyway, thank you for that one. Reed here. Thank you, buddy. It says Tom Hanks was on Mythical Kitchen, Good Mythical Morning, where they talk about his last meal and eat it. Of course, it's a cool video so far. Oh, wow. That's such a morbid fucking thing, though, isn't it? Isn't that just a morbid fucking thing to go on to Good Mythical Morning and be like, so, like, that's the fucking thing. Yeah, what's your last meal, buddy? My last meal, yeah, that's definitely like gonna be like whatever. I don't know. It's fucking crazy. I don't have a joke for it. I think it's weird. I don't have a joke. I just think that it's weird. I would hope though that it's a good video. I need to check it out. And then Reed also asking, can I send you a link on Twitter that has my drawing on the Route 66 project? Yeah, I got that up right here. Thank you, man. So this is you drawing Route 66. Very cool. So this is your drawing. So is this an image that you drew in middle school? Okay. Ever since middle school, I enjoyed and was fascinated by Route 66. Tried to learn a lot of things about it and research too. Watch YouTube videos, listen to podcasts, and looked at the Route 66 news after high school. I took a trip on Route 66 and enjoyed the attractions, people, places, and towns, and the history that was along Route 66. Now I'm doing a project called Drawing Route 66. This is where I have my picture from Route 66, a trip of an iconic Route 66, and a drawing next to it. I tell a bit of history and about what it is. So hopefully you guys will come along for the journey. More drawings to come. All right, let's take a look. So that's cool. Sorry. So these are just, that's where it begins. Okay. That's cool. Is that in Chicago? I've never been to that part of Chicago. All right. So you've done some stuff here. It's just, okay. So that's what you got so far. Cool, man. So yeah, if you guys are interested in checking that out, you've got Drawing Route 66. Here, I'll give you a follow, buddy. I'll give you a follow. And so keep up the good work. Look, passion projects are passion projects. And I think we need to do more to support passion projects. Because you've got, everyone out there needs motivation. And I think supporting it's good. H-Bart's here for 2. Thank you, buddy. Says, why does Max try to be friends with these remedial individuals? Max likes to be friends with everybody. That's kind of the biggest issue, right? That's kind of the biggest issue that comes out of that is Max just wants to be friends with everybody and he doesn't want to get too political. And it's not to say that like you can't be friends with a Republican. All right. I have plenty of friends who are conservative, but I think it's understanding, like trying to like, cause in the argument that Tony and I got into over there, I'm bringing up policy. And Tony's like, southern border. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to, that's not a policy. When your guy was in charge for 4 years and couldn't even really contain anything outside of like attempting to raise money to build a wall, which has so many problems with it that it's like, Jesus Christ. Never mind like the amnesty issue, the legality of the amnesty issue, what Trump did to try to obfuscate from that, deflect from that. And like he removed border patrol checkpoints. It's just like, dude, the whole thing was a fucking mess. The whole thing was a fucking mess. Yes, we need to work on border security, obviously. A lot of that, I think, has to do with working with Mexico and to find ways to like benefit, like figure out a way to work with the society down there. Because that whole area, the whole part of the world is messed up. People come here for a better life. Can you blame them? Our country's built on immigrants, and now people are trying to kick everybody out. It's just kind of fucking weird. Anyway, it's not really. Yeah, I get it. Trailer from 2 days ago. What trailer from 2 days ago? I don't know what trailer that is. Let me know. So Zap, you're asking. I mean, ask you, why do you dislike Star Wars Theory so much? It's not that I dislike Star Wars Theory, but you can tell that when he started his channel, there wasn't Star Wars content, really. So it's like he was running on theories, and the theories were interesting because there wasn't anything there to talk about. So he could just make up whatever the fuck he wanted to. Like, remember Jar Jar Binks as was like Darth Sidious the entire time? That was a fun theory. That blew up. People love that kind of shit. But then you get the new stuff coming out, so he's got to cover it. He's required to cover it because of what he does. And then I think from there, he's just gotten to the point of where he's kind of gotten lazy. And he hangs out with someone like Josh, who only cares about making money. And he's got to cover all the new Star Wars stuff. And he realizes that being shitty about it is going to make him more money than being happy about it. But this guy's fucking doing really well for himself. So it's like, you know, talk about what you love, man. People are going to fucking follow the music and shit. But when you associate with like the fandom menace type people, you can't be positive about shit because it literally goes against their fucking, their business model. Reed for 5, thank you, says, thanks. I'm starting more drawings tomorrow. I've been dealing with mental health stuff, but hopefully more will come. Man, listen, I'm just going to be honest with you, buddy. I'm going to give you a piece of advice here. Take it for what you will. If it helps you mentally, then do it, right? Like for me, when I dive into like working on like a Podio commentary script, that's therapeutic for me. It really is. It's therapeutic for me because I love just diving in to all that stuff, right? I love diving into the nitty gritty of it, learning little things I didn't know before, putting it all together. That to me is it's very good for my mental health. What fucks with me though is the expectation that I put on myself for the type of content I create. Now, what I mean by that is like, you know, am I a podcaster? Am I a YouTuber? Do I start to overthink things? Because when I talked about this last night, when I overthink things, my OCD kicks in because I want to be a perfectionist. And so as a result of that, I start thinking about how I can do everything, right? Be on camera, edit the videos as I go along, run it like, you know, or whatever. I just, it's so much that my brain just stops working and I end up not doing anything. So what I mean by that is like, work on this stuff for your mental health. But if it becomes something you feel like you have to force yourself to do, stop. Just take a breath, chill out a little bit, walk back a little bit, do something else. Because the last thing you want to do is associate that project with something that has to be done, rather than doing it because you want to do it as a project because you love Route 66. That's what I'm saying, right? So like work on it, find a healthy balance. And if you start feeling yourself stuck because you want to work, but you're not feeling it, don't force yourself. Don't do it. Take a break. That's the best advice I can give. All right. But good luck on that. And again, I followed you on there. So there's there. Moisture here says vote blue no matter who. I mean, that's not the look, man. All right. I fully acknowledge that shouldn't like be a thing. All right. Like I get it. Okay. I'm not liberal enough to be like vote blue no matter who, but I also feel that it's like a boycott. If your party, if you're conservative, if you are a real conservative in this country and you look at your party and think, yeah, that sounds about right, they're doing a good job, I think you need to reassess your politics, if I'm being fair. I do. I think you got to reassess where you are, because nothing is being done. It's all stagnated. It's all bullshit. It's all whatever, man. It's all it is. Anyway, you know, I used to live in Southern California. So when it comes to the southern border, man, I've heard every opinion known to man. H-Bart's had a member chat. Okay, thank you for telling me. I don't know why H-Bart's didn't tell me. Let's see here. H-Bart says, do you have a phobia? For me, I have spiders. That's a weird question. I mean, like, there are things that spiders, I don't like spiders, right? But I have one in my garage that's fucking massive. And I let the fucker live. And I talk to the fucker when I go out there to go take out the trash because it's up in the corner above the door. This thing's huge. But he eats other spiders. So he's actually doing my house a fucking favor. Spiders, most of them, you're not going to see. The ones that you do see largely are like, I think even like scientists have said, like, they're stupid. They like, almost like they deserve to die. You know what I mean? It's like eugenics for spiders. The ones that you see are the ones that are probably going to die first because they freak people the fuck out. It's the ones that you don't see. It's the ones that you don't see. All right. So there's that. I would argue, why would I let that fuck live? Because that fuck kills other spiders. And he doesn't leave out of his corner. All right. He doesn't leave out of his corner. He does his job. Spiders do their job, man. I personally for me, one of the things I'm not a fan of is, it's not, heights are kind of like loud noises, like explosions get me. That's a big one. I have trouble with fireworks displays. I used to not have trouble with that. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, it happens. It really happens. Stuff changes over time, man. So there's that. But anyway, if anyone out there has a fear of spiders, I'm with you, but I just don't kill them. I actively at this point, if I can, I scoop them up. I take them outside. I show my children that it's good to have compassion for these creatures because, they do provide a service. But here's the thing with this one, right? Spiders, if you take an indoor spider and you take it outdoors, it's going to die. It's going to die. So like when you take a spider, you scoop it up and you take it outside, it's going to fucking die. So you're just kind of like giving it an opportunity to survive someplace else. I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Mo Moon here for 2. Thank you. Says, hey, you hate Mo Moon and Moonfall. It was my baby. I don't know. Or is it why you hate Mo Moon? Mo, I don't hate you, but I get annoyed with the trolling. I do get annoyed with the trolling. And I get annoyed with the trolling. You absolutely know I get annoyed with the trolling. Anyway, Jess here says, I had a spider bite that inflamed my arm. Yeah, that could happen. That is a problem. That does, when I moved to Southern California and I started dealing with black widows, I was definitely afraid of black widows. They will fuck with you. Right. But black widows, like you also, like they release pheromones. And so if they're in a space that's safe, they'll release pheromones that will attract other black widows. So like with black widows, if they were in my house, I would scoop them up. I would take them outside. I'd put them on the edge of the property. The reason why is because then other black widows would go away from the house. It's weird shit, dude. It's weird stuff. Anyway, H-Bar's here for 5. Thank you, buddy. My cousin has a fear of sharks, and a friend from the UK has a fear of shipwrecks. Now, all right. I totally can respect the fear of shipwrecks. All right, I can. If you're on a boat, I can respect the fear of shipwrecks. 150,000%. But what I have trouble with is if you are on land and you're like, man, shipwrecks fucking suck, right? Like I'm fearful of wrecking my ship. I'm in the dunes, by the way. I don't know. It'd be a thing, but I get it, dude. I get it. Sharks, on the other hand, sharks are freaky as fuck, dude. Sharks are freaky as hell. I would be afraid. I've watched some of those videos popping off out of the thing. Sorry. Okay, thank you, Jess. I got that, by the way. There's like someone who was filming the shoreline off the coast of like Malibu or whatever, and like all these like sharks were coming up to people swimming and stuff. That freaks me out. You know, Jaws really fucked a lot of people up when it comes to sharks. And even Spielberg recently has said that that's not like a, you know, he wishes he would have done it a little bit better. So Ryan says, I used to have a fear of bees growing up. Now I have a newfound respect for them because of how vital they are to our survival. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. Let's see. Okay. HWAD here says, look up a pic of the RMS Lustiana. I showed him that. He died. All right, let me take a look here. RMS Lustiana. All right, what is this one here? Oh, yeah. This is the one, the World War One one. Yeah, I've heard of this one. Some of this shit's fucking freaky, dude. All right, let me bring this up here. Like, we're here to talk about movies. Let's talk about fucking shipwrecks and phobias, bitch. No, it's a good conversation to have, actually. Right? Hollywood After Dark. It tackles all sides. Yeah, this is fucking freaky, man. I'd love to go down there and check all that out, though. You know, like James Cameron's got the money to be able, like, I was gonna go take a fucking weekend trip to the Titanic and just cruise around. Yeah, wow, that's fucking nuts. That's crazy. Cool stuff there, actually. Yeah, I'd like to explore shipwreck, but then again, I play a lot of like I've been playing The Witcher 3. And so The Witcher 3 is like, you know, like you swim down to some shipwrecks and stuff. Anyway, so anyway, all right, guys, we got to move on. There's more stuff to talk about here. Where else am I at? What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, that's right. Fucking Tron. Let's talk about Tron. Tron Legacy. Disney is now moving on. I don't know why they call it Disney moving on. Should be moving ahead with. Moving on usually means leaving behind. Tron ARES is now going to be coming to fruition. Jared Leto is starring in the movie. Has a lot of people kind of upset about that. A lot of people are like, why? Yeah, I see this here. Reads like, why Jared Leto? Yeah. I mean, dude, he, you know what? Morbid time. All right. I'm just going to say it. And then you got Joaquin Roning is in talks to helm the movie. He also did Pirates of the Caribbean 5 and Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. So I think at this point we can already argue that Tron ARES is kind of dead. It's going to be kind of dead on arrival. All right. So the new installment of Tron is coming back online. The dish here is that Disney is in early negotiations to set Joaquin Ronig to direct Jared Leto in Tron ARES. The film is crewing up and is eyeing August start date in Vancouver. Oh, I don't live far from Vancouver. Maybe I should try to head up there and get myself an extra on the movie. Deals aren't complete yet, but this would mark the fourth collaboration between Disney and the Norwegian filmmaker who helmed Maleficent, the Mistress of Evil, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales. And he also recently wrapped for the studio the Daisy Ridley star Young Woman in the Sea, about the daring journey of Gertrude Ederle, a New York teen who became the first woman to swim across the English Channel. And Jerry Bruckheimer produced the movie. Daisy Ridley as a teenager who swims across the English Channel. Folks, I don't know about you. Riveting stuff. Yeah, Ryan, I know they shoot a lot in Vancouver. My girlfriend and I have actually talked about moving to Vancouver. Because I am a first generation Canadian American, I should be able to get over there. You know, at that point though, to bring her, I'd have to do the whole wifey thing. So that's what'd have to happen. But anyway, so let's find out more here. It says now it's on to the Disney sci-fi franchise, which began in 1982. Film that starred Jeff Bridges was set inside a computer program called The Grid. Yep, we all know about Tron. The following swelled around the film in years to come as it played on cable, only helped grow its popularity to the point where Disney decided to move forward with a sequel, Tron Legacy, in 2010, with Bridges reprising his role. The film grossed $400 million globally, and Disney has been trying to figure out how to continue the franchise ever since. Well, I mean, I would argue with the volume, it's getting probably a little bit easier. Now, the studio got close in 2017 with Leto Now it will be in the hands of Ronig, who early on broke into Hollywood, co-directing Kon-Tiki. The 2013 film was nominated for the Foreign Language Film Oscar and chronicled Thor Heyerdahl's epic 4,300-mile crossing of the Pacific Ocean on a balsa wood raft in 1947. Okay, and then he went on. He went on from that to go do, Pirates of the Caribbean. Apparently, it worked out. Anyway, Young Woman in the Sea hasn't slotted yet, but it's been testing strongly. And then the TRON ARES script is written by Jesse Wigatow, and it is considered a sequel to Tron Legacy, which is directed by Top Gun Maverick's Joe. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was going to be considered a sequel or not. I'd heard, there's been rumors about it being a standalone thing. So that is going to be fascinating. Also, apparently, Jared Leto will also star next in Disney's Haunted Mansion. And what's really funny about that is so many people, all right? So many people are just like, what about Jared Leto? What about the accusations of Jared Leto? And it's like, all right, guys, it's like, he's a weird dude, but I don't know. Clearly they've there might be allegations. Let me take a look here at allegations. Let's see what he is. Allegations. What are the allegations against? Okay, so there was an article that popped up from back in last year. All right. By the way, I see you, Moisture, and I see you, H-Barts. I'll get you guys here in a sec. So Jared Leto misconduct allegations resurface after photo with Olivia Rodrigo. All right. So Leto announced Rodrigo, the winner of Best Pop Vocal Album, handed her the award. This was at the Grammy Awards last April. All right. And then someone wrote, I hate this. Please keep her away from him. Oh my God. Another person says, run, Olivia, run. Okay. Then you've got he's a sorry, just Twitter's weird sometimes. In 2005, the New York Post wrote an article alleging Leto invited minors to performances by his band, 30 Seconds to Mars. The article also dissected alleged texts sent to underage women. That's no good. Dylan Sprouse tweeted to Leto in 2018, yo, Jared Leto, now that you've slid into the DMs of every female model aged 18 to 25, what would you say your success rate is? James Gunn, the director of Guardians, and now the head of DC Studios, co-head, responded to the tweet with, to Sprouse's tweet with, he starts at 18 on the internet. So and then of course there's the cult accusations, that have happened, that have come out of that. So it's look, these are allegations, guys. All right. I don't know if they're real. You don't know if they're real. Disney at this point has probably clearly been looking into it. So they clearly have found nothing there that they would, look, if anything tangible came out, they'd fucking yeet his ass in a heartbeat. Let's be fair about that. Let's just be upfront about that. If anything tangible had come out, they would yeet his ass fast. But he's clearly, they have done enough into him where he's been able to skirt by. Either it's not as bad as the people are trying to make it out to be, or it simply doesn't exist. I don't know. Look at the Justin Roiland thing. That situation, accusations back in 2020, physical assault, false imprisonment, things like that, restraining orders. Now he's going to be going into the legal system with that thing. It took a couple of years to get there. Hollywood is silent about it. But yet it's it's all that shit. Here's the thing. Spherical Man says, after all the Ezra stuff, you're giving Leto a pass. I'm not giving Leto a pass. I'm saying with the Ezra stuff, there was more tangible evidence. You had police reports, witness statements, multiple witness statements, multiple police reports, multiple arrests. You know what I'm saying? It's multiple stuff. Okay. Multiple things happened with Ezra Miller. And then, and it's now subsiding. Multiple allegations, multiple things, and I know even the Takata stuff is whatever, But like, just look at the erratic behavior matched with outbursts of physical violence. That did happen. That did fucking happen. That's what we're talking about here. That kind of stuff is more tangible than just like I heard through the grapevine. That's what I'm talking about here. All right. And clearly they're getting Ezra help, and clearly they've been finding a way to make it work. So it's just like, you know, it's crazy. Now, Henry here makes a good point. I believe the Roiland accusation, especially because there was no Twitter clout. She's still an on, and they went to the actual court, not public court. That's true. They held it. Yeah, it is. So, it wasn't an accusation. I mean, well, no, I want to be fair. I think like part of my charm on this shit is that I'm relatively fair with this stuff, you know? So there's that. It's like, you're right. Like I just want to like, we criticized Ezra because of like the weirdness of it. And like, there's stuff there with Leto. There's been accusations. I think Leto's a weird guy. You know, I personally like don't necessarily care that he's in Tron. I don't think it's ever going to get made, to be fair. Disney, I don't think they're going to want to spend that kind of money on that shit, to be honest with you. But we'll have to wait and find out. Now, Moisture then says, didn't Disney hire a pedo to direct the movie? Well, okay, what you're talking about is Powder. Disney was actually unaware that the director of Powder had previously been accused and convicted and served time for pedophilic actions. Victor Salva was his name, right? They did not know that he had been convicted of that and served his time. As a result of that, I think like they were already deep into filming and they let him finish. And that was really about it. So, you know, everything else, right? Now, so then Spherical Man brings up the whole situation with the Suicide Squad. There's stuff with that gets, I think, blown out of proportion. And there's stuff like that I think also just became internet rumor. You know, I do feel, though, that he went method. I do think that what happened with Margot Robbie really did happen. And everything else, right? I do think like he went through that stuff with her, because I do feel like her approach to Harley Quinn after Suicide Squad is indicative of her not wanting to be seen as a victim. And with that character dynamic, she would be seen as a victim. So there's that. Hold on. Moisture says, how do you not know he was convicted? This dude, it happened in like the late 80s and they shot Powder in 95. You know what I mean? Like he had gone through the whole thing. It's not hard. Back then it wasn't hard to figure, you know, they hide shit and the internet wasn't a thing back then. You know, I'm just saying it was an oversight. They shouldn't have fucking done it. But you can't sit there. I mean, like I would say there's like, you can look at some of the reasons as to the lack of the information spread at the time. And maybe they hid it. I don't know. Chan Talks More Movies here says, could you see the right using Jared Leto working with Disney as a way to further their anti-Disney narrative and how they groom kids because they support gays? Personally, I could see that happening, or sadly see that happening. Look, here's the thing with those guys. Those guys are always going to find something to yell about. They're going to be like, but wait, there's allegations against Jared Leto, but he's working with Disney. But Gina Carano, she just didn't want a fucking mask mandate. Yeah. Again, Jared Leto keeps his fucking head down. Gina Carano made a lot of noise and got fucking fired. It's apples and oranges. It really is. If there's some shit about Jared Leto that legally will get his ass in trouble, take it to the authorities, and let's hope that the district attorney is able to put together enough of a case to warrant an indictment. I think the problem with how many people who watch movies and watch television shows about like Law and Order and CSI and shit, they don't fundamentally understand how the legal system operates. For one, how slow it operates. Very slow, very meticulous. Has to be. It fucking has to be. And we're going to talk about the legal system. Actually, that's kind of a good little segue into the situation with Alec Baldwin, Because here it's been, over a year since the situation happened with unfortunately, the shooting. And now we're finding out that Alec Baldwin and the Rust Armorer are to face criminal charges over the fatal shooting in Santa Fe. Now, what's funny, though, is that they say Alec Baldwin and the Rust Armorer. Her name is Hannah something or another. Hannah Gutierrez Reed. She look. I'm just gonna spoiler alert. The armorer is gonna be the fall guy. Alec is definitely gonna be drugged through some shit, but let's be fair, absolutely fair. The fall guy is going to be the armorer. All right, so. Shine here says the only realistic show is CSI Miami. Shut the fuck up, dude. How could you call it realistic when they filmed CSI Miami in goddamn Long Beach? Long Beach. That's not Miami. That's on the other side of the country. Anyway. So here's what we know. Alec Baldwin and armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed will face criminal charges for the October 2021 fatal shooting of Rust cinematographer Helena Hutchins on the film set. Close to 16 months after Baldwin shot Hutchins and wounded the movie's director, Joel Souza, with a loaded gun during rehearsal on the set of the indie Western, New Mexico First Judicial District Attorney Mark Carmack Altwies finally Mary, not Mark, that's a long ass goddamn name, finally unveiled her decision as to who should be charged and not charged in the tragic incident, saying, after a thorough review of the evidence and the laws of the state of New Mexico, I've determined that there is sufficient evidence to file criminal charges against Alec Baldwin and other members of the Rust film crew. On my watch, no one is above the law and everyone deserves justice. In charges set to be formally filed by the end of the month, Baldwin and Gutierrez will each be charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter in Hutchins' death. Heading towards a hearing before the state judge and then a jury trial, the first charge is a 4th-degree felony with sentencing up to 18 months in jail and a $5,000 fine. The second charge, which is formally an involuntary manslaughter in the commission of a lawful act charge, is also a 4th-degree felony punishable by 18 months and up to a $5,000 fine. However, the second charge additionally carries a firearm enhancement that gives the offense a punishing mandatory 5 years behind bars if Baldwin and Gutierrez are found guilty. So a low figure in this event also is the Rust assistant director, David Halls, who reached a plea agreement with prosecutors for the charge of negligent use of a deadly weapon. The industry vet faces a suspended sentence and 6 months of probation. All right. Now, Baldwin has in the past vowed to fight any charges, but Hall's plea deal and the cooperation he likely provided to prosecutors could become a major factor for Baldwin going forward. I mean, that's very true. Like, one guy turned to offer up anything that he fucking could. And that's going to be like a big issue here. So, will Alec see prison time? I don't believe so. I could be wrong, but I don't believe so. The reason why I don't believe so is because, like I've said before, all right, like I've said before, Alec Baldwin has got money. He's got millions upon millions of dollars. This whole thing is crazy. He will use whatever power he has to get out of going to jail. Hannah Gutierrez Reed does not have that kind of money and is not going to be some kind of, right-wing, Second Amendment loving, fundraising campaign in order to pay her legal bills. Because there was a mishap on set and whatever else, and like she was the one in charge, there's going to be, there's the liability. So more of it's going to fall upon her. Alec being the one who pulled the trigger, that's why it's on him. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know anything about the law. I'm just running off speculation, just to be clear. But I think like Alec is gonna walk, and she might get, I'm gonna say 18 months. She'll get the 18 months. She might reach a plea deal. She might reach a plea deal with the authorities before Alec does. Now that would be wild if that happens. So there's that. Music Man asking, will the other guy go to jail? No, he's getting a suspended sentence, which just means stay the fuck out of trouble. But the other part of this too, things you guys have to consider here, is that what's gonna happen afterward is going to be, you know, they're gonna be, what's the word I want to use here? Civil litigation is gonna happen. So, yeah, there's going to be wrongful death suits filed against the production company, filed against Alec Baldwin. Like, it's going to cost Baldwin millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. But there's that. I'll tell you what's crazy, though. I actually saw a take today from Tim fucking Pool, of all people. And it's not surprising that's Tim Pool. But he actually tried to argue that I'm not kidding. He tried to fucking argue that it's possible that Alec Baldwin killed this woman intentionally. That's what he's trying to say. Check this out here. I got a snapshot of this, right? By the way, Jess and HBAR says, see your super share. Okay. So Tim Pool put this on Twitter. They found live ammo in Baldwin's gun belt. He had motive, opportunity, and he had live ammo in his gun belt. All right. And he goes on from there to basically say that, like, he wasn't happy with Hutchins, that he wasn't happy with the woman, and that he's basically trying to imply that Alec Baldwin had the motive and the opportunity to kill her for, I don't know, whatever fucking purpose. But it's just like, this is, like I said here, this is a cum brain to take. Tim Pool is a fucking nut job, by the way. He absolute psychotic motherfucker. And I know the guy. I've known Pool for a number of years, and he's just whatever the fuck. Like, at this point, he's literally in his own compound, just drinking bottles of his own fucking piss. Like, that's where he's at now. This is the kind of weird take, the kind of narrative that people are going to need, that these fandom menace types are going to fucking run with. Like, flat out. Like, that's what's going to fucking happen. So it's like, it's just bullshit, guys. It's just fucking bullshit. Okay, real quick here. Jess, thank you for 5. Says CSI Miami decided to have a 5-star hotel with a 70% Caucasian population in Hialeah Gardens. Yeah, that's a lie. I mean, yeah, it's central casting, dude. Central casting is great. Let's see. H-Bars for 5. Thank you. Says, you see the Wikipedia new layout? Fucking shit is garbage. I haven't, but I'll take a look. I don't know why. Wiki. All right, let me just take a. I don't know why it was blue. I mean, it's cleaner. It's cleaner, I guess. Like, I don't know why I had this ship up. Whatever, I'll show you guys here. Also, kind of random off topic. HR says, like, I mean, it is cleaner, to be fair. It has more of a mobile viewpoint to it. But having the contents on the side is actually kind of cool, because you can just kind of click, oh, okay, oh yeah, this is nice, rather than having to scroll. But it does take away from all of the shit on the side that I got used to liking, all the little features and stuff. So it's definitely simpler design. But yeah, I get what you're saying there. All right. Thank you for that. Alec might shoot somebody if he goes to jail. No, I don't think so. All right, let's see. Blargan here says, what is this nonsense? If you have the money that Baldwin does, there's better ways to kill someone than doing it yourself while on camera, surrounded by a film crew. Hey, honest to God, it sounds like a Rian Johnson Knives Out plot. You know, that's the thing that could happen, right? I don't know. It could go that way. I don't know. But all right, guys, I think that's what I got lined up for the night. Obviously, we got to check out the trailer that Ryan wanted us to take a look at here. And then, and then we're going to take a look at the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 30th anniversary trailer for Netflix. We're going to watch those two things. Someone was supposed to be on tonight to join me. I was asked, if they wanted to come on, and I sent them the link, but they obviously denied it. So whatever. It's cool, buddy. But all right, this is called Forest Hills, the official trailer. Edward Furlong, Shelley Duvall. Wow. Edward Furlong and Shelley Duvall. This is going to get wild real quick.
Hey how you doing? This is Rico again. I'm up in the beautiful mountains of the Catskills in upstate New York. I'm on a 2-mile hike trying to get away from that boring Monday 9-to-5 job that we all hate.
Every fucking time you do, you make a goddamn mess. I'm done.
Well, what we can do is prescribe you another medication, one that may make you feel better.
I just don't like the way they made me feel. Every day, I try to do my best. I do. And I know that you do too. I'm constantly struggling. Deep down inside, I'm trying to be something that I'm not.
Yo, Rico.
Billy, I need to see you, man. Hurry up, please.
Where are you? What's up, man?
Rico. You're a fucking murderer, Rico.
Taking your medication is very important.
I'm fucking saying things.
You're in deep fucking shit right now. Okay?
Your stories of hard work and courage have been so inspiring to me. I'm especially proud of my brother right here, Rico.
Focus on this, man. I'll tell you what. If that werewolf comes, BAM! Blow that motherfucker right away. For the one who wishes to be covered in fur, rip flesh, shed human skin. The inner wolf is ready to be released. For the one who wishes to be covered in fur, rip flesh, shed human skin.
All right, that's a fucking movie. Holy crap. Like that's it looks interesting. Like I feel like the acting is definitely dog shit, but the stuff with the werewolf had some interesting effects to it, which I thought was pretty good. And it was definitely crazy. I got a super chat. Where? What did I miss? What I miss? Is it another free one or what? Did I want to make sure I got everything here? Oh, sorry. All right. I did miss this one from H Parts, my buddy. No, I did miss these two, I think. Jared Leto said he wanted to play the role since he was 13. Just look up Jared Leto 13 to... Oh my God. No. What is this? Leto 13. What is this? No, he once called a 13-year-old hot. Okay. Yeah, I get you. It's one of those things like look up Zootopia Rule 34, right? About doing 34 frames of animation. Jesus Christ. No, Jared Leto's a weird dude, man. A weird guy. And people shouldn't be like, don't talk to if you're older, if you were a person of influence and whatnot, like don't fucking talk to like people like that, man. You know what I mean? Like James Franco got busted doing that shit. Fucking Andy Signore absolutely has done that stuff. We've seen the messages, you know, it's pretty hard to deny it when it's like, it ain't a deep fake. Stop. Yeah. If I were single and I had women messaging me, I'd still feel weird. It wouldn't matter. I'd be like, crazy. Also, H Bart's here. Thank you, buddy. He says, I asked RJ earlier if he was able to handle the Scream trailer, and he said he didn't understand what I meant. So if you don't know what H Bart is talking about there, obviously there was a trailer today for Scream number 6. Now, I'm not showing the trailer for Scream 6 for one specifically major reason. I haven't seen Scream 5. I don't want there to be spoilers. Yeah, I know there's probably whatever with that. I'm going to watch Scream 5 before Scream 6 because like it looks pretty cool. There's a couple good shots I've seen coming out of it. But what we're talking about, what H Bart's directly is talking about, is Jenna Ortega. Now, our buddy RJ. We love RJ. We like to give RJ a bit of crap, but we love RJ. RJ has a thing for Haley Steinfeld, massive thing for Haley Steinfeld. Even ran a Haley Steinfeld stan account on Twitter. I'm not making that up. He ran an anonymous Haley Steinfeld stan account on Twitter. That is how much of a fan of Haley that he is. Good for him too. All right. But, you know, recently he's been talking a lot about Jenna Ortega. You know, and Jenna Ortega, you know, I mean, she's an attractive young actress, very talented. You know, I understand getting a crush. Right? I understand getting a crush. I understand all that stuff. I think it's really, really, really funny. There we go. What? What the? Hold on, Mo. What the fuck? Jared Leto and Matt Jarbo. Shut the fuck up, dude. I don't know what the hell that's about. Haley getting too old for RJ. Hold on. Haley, isn't she? How old is she now? She's 26. She's 26. Jenna Ortega is 20, and RJ is right in the middle of that. You know what I mean? Wow, Anna Kendrick is 37. Crazy. She doesn't age. Anyway, I'm just saying, RJ might find himself in a position later on where he's like, he's gonna hate this shit. No, RJ like him young. Oh, dude, no. Henry here says my girlfriend has a massive crush on Ortega to the point where it makes me kind of jealous. I mean, is it the Wednesday thing? Because no, she definitely like pulled out. The weird thing about Wednesday is this: it's like there is an attractiveness to the character. All right, there is an attractiveness to the character. They designed her to look that way. The way she's got the bangs and the eyes and everything else. The problem, though, is that she's a 20-year-old portraying like a 16, 17-year-old. And so it's like, are you attracted to the actress or are you attracted to the character? And then it gets into some weird shit. Weird stuff there. So, you know, Shiny here says, dude, what the fuck? I'm 39 and I look like an old geezer. I can get with Anna Kendrick is what I'm hearing. Well, you're not I mean, you could try, buddy. You could try. I don't know. And Mo here says, I mean, you're both mischaracterized by people. Why don't you lead with that, Mo? Why don't you lead with that? How about that shit? There we go. Thank you, though. All right. So Tony here says, not to sound too pervy, but I can see it with Jenna Ortega. She's very good looking. She is. No, she is. She is. Jess, you're saying anime does that to you? Like what? Make you a perv? Like, there's a lot of pervy anime out there, man. I'll tell you, man, the anime is getting some pretty mainstream shit going on here. It's pretty crazy. It's like, you know, I was out today. I saw tons of people with like anime decals on their car. Like, and it's like the ones where like they have the anime characters in like the corner of the window. Like they're meant to be in the backseat of the car looking out. Like, what are you, fucking kidnapped children? That shit's a little bit weird to me, but you know, it is what it is. But all right, guys, let's do the last thing of the night here, and that's going to be the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 30th anniversary special over there on the Netflix. Sadly, Amy Jo Johnson will not be involved, which is my inner child's not happy about that, to be fair. But here we go.
Sit and action.
It's been 28 years since I've been back on the set of Power Rangers.
It's kind of crazy to think about that it's been that many years.
It's surreal, but it's been a great experience.
It's been very nostalgic.
It's been really exciting to film a 30-year anniversary special.
Let's be honest, the main reason we're here is to see these characters, these actors that we're familiar with from 30 years ago.
I think the audience is going to be, first off, excited to see a bunch of us retro Rangers come back.
Directing two actors who were Power Rangers 30 years ago, and actually from the other actors too, Steve and Kat, it was a really interesting process.
Meeting fans, the one thing they always ask are they ever going to get the band back together?
Just getting to work with Walter, obviously we have a long history together.
Well, David and I are working with him as Billy and Zach being Zach and Billy. It's funny how similar it is, but in a different way.
David and Walter, Steven, and then Catherine. We've been working together a long time ago. So glad to see them.
There were a couple of us that had never been on camera together before.
Well, we're Mighty Morphin together, but separate casts. We've never actually worked
This
together.
is our first time working together.
Just coming back to the show in general it's just a joy.
We're a family of Rangers, so to finally be on a set with them was really interesting.
There's so many little Easter eggs. I just think it's going to give the fans everything they want.
It's such a different take on what we've done before, but a lot of the same elements are there.
I think what I'm most excited about for the fans and this 30th anniversary special is for them to see us all together and our chemistry and our growth.
I think this is the best way we could have celebrated 30 years.
Well, I think they would have had I mean, look, you know, that looks cute. You know, when does that come out again? April, I can't tell because of the fucking stupid ass thing at the end there. God damn it. Come on, turn that off. How do I turn that off? Either way, I mean, I'll watch it definitely. I kind of lost interest in the show way back in the day, but what's crazy, I just looked her up. Catherine Sutherland is 48 years old, man. What's Billy? How old is Billy? How old is he now? What's the actor's name? He's portrayed by David Yost. How old is David Yost? How old? He's 54. That's crazy. Austin St. John is 48. Walter Emmanuel Jones is 52. Amy Jo Johnson is 52. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm looking at a photo of Austin St. John, and he just like he looks like a mugshot. But no, he's not in it, right? He's not in it. Is that what I'm hearing? That's unfortunate if that's the case. But I'll check him out. Age Rangers United can't say the same about hairlines. That's very true. HWAD says, I hope JDF is back one last time. I mean, I don't know, man. There was no mention of it there. I think after what happened, they would have probably mentioned that. But maybe they'll have to have some kind of thing in that, right? Like some kind of thing with that. So let's see. Matt's feeling like he's getting removed to retirement, dude. I was in elementary school when fucking Power Rangers came out. Okay, now I got gray in my beard, so yeah. There's that. I didn't miss your super chat, Moisture. We're gonna get to that here in a second because I got something to add to that, by the way, and 100% for you. All right. So Moisture here dropped a super. Thank you, buddy. Let me just find that here. He says there's Rugrats hentai. I'm pretty sure the attraction to I'm pretty sure the attraction to Wednesday is fine. You know what? I'm not going to disagree with you, buddy, but I'm going to one up you a little bit. Okay, I'm going to one up you a little bit here to end out the show tonight. I want to take you guys back. I want to take you back about 5 years. All right, there's a little parody that came out, right? About the Rugrats, and it's this is real, by the way. This is a real trailer, by the way, for a little movie called Tugrats. It's a Wood Rocket porn parody powered by Pornhub. This is a real porn, and this is a real trailer for that porn. There's no nudity in this. It's on YouTube, but check this out.
Hiya, dumb grown-ups. At least when we were babies, we could play. Now we're adults. What are we gonna do for fun? Our taxes?
Angelica?
Is not.
Is too. Phil and Lil, stop arguing about gangbangs already.
Can it live action cartoon Baldy? Why do we play hide and go peek?
That game's for babies. And we're clearly not babies. We're adults now.
Then why is Tommy wearing a diaper?
It's called adult baby syndrome. It's a thing. You can Google it.
Double duty.
I'm not saying bugs are delicious, but if your asshole was a big bug, I would immediately drop to my knees right now and toss your bug salad.
What? Don't judge me.
Anthony Bourdain eats bugs too. I'm just like Anthony Bourdain.
Reptar breath.
Why am I seeing all these sexy things?
You're so dumb, Chucky. You doesn't know any nothings. But why, Tommy?
Hey, a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
So there you go. That, yeah. You can't say there's not a looker in the bunch, dude. Lena Paul is hot. I agree with Shiny here. Lena Paul is hot. All right. Let's see here. Mo says, God damn it, you're gonna get the quarter pounder on your ass. Dude, they say multiple times, we're adults. All right. And I'm not recommending you watch the porn. I'm really pointing out it's a reference to the stuff that that Moisture had brought up. But the fact that that exists cracks me the fuck up, right? That Anthony Bourdain comment ain't gonna age well. No, it didn't. It did not. It did not age well. So, yes. So there you go, folks. That is why. That is why this shit is just hysterical and stupid. But that's the industry for you, man. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going on with any of the stuff. So, all right, then, on that note, guys, I do got to call it because it is just, about 2 hours into this stuff here. Oh, you're watching it? Thanks for the recommendation. I've seen the Angelica scene in that one because I do like Lena Paul. So that's what I'm going to leave that one out there, folks. But I hope everyone out there is had themselves great. I should be on tomorrow night. I have to go out doing later delivery driving. But we'll see what's going on. Maybe we'll do a watch party after tomorrow night's episode for members. Maybe we'll watch episode 2 of Velma, because that's pretty fucking bad. But either way, listen, you guys are the greatest. You guys are the best. I wouldn't be here without you, obviously. Thank you all so much. Have yourself a good night. Go watch a movie. Go watch TRON. Go watch it. It's good. It's a fun movie. Maybe go check out Prisoners and then head over to Patio Commentary to find my coverage of that. Ooh, yeah. All right, everyone. Have a great evening. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace the fuck out.